Hey man, I'm Jusko from ProudMoney.com. In this video, we are going to look at the best bank accounts on the market. In practice, that is going to mean that we are going to look at 5 options if you would like to get both checking and savings from the same source and feel good about both of those accounts. And then we will also run through a list of high-yield savings accounts that are very competitive, even if their checking side of things is not so much. And then we'll also follow up with one other checking account that you might consider. All right, let's start with those 5 banks that you might choose if you were looking for both checking and savings from one generous source. First off is SoFi. SoFi is a bank that we have talked about multiple times in the past few years when I've done this same exact video. They have a combination checking and savings account. You can't separate the two out. You get both at the same time if you choose SoFi. Now on the savings side, as I make this video, you can get a 3.8% APY or annual percentage yield on your savings, and you can get a 0.50% APY on the checking side of things. The thing that is nice about SoFi is that you very easily can move your money back and forth via their app from checking to savings and vice versa. So you can really keep the vast majority of your money in that higher 3.8% yield side on the savings and keep very little in your checking, and then just move it over when you need to in order to pay things out of that account. One thing to note with SoFi that is definitely important is in order to get that higher yield on the savings, you do have to have direct deposit coming into the account. So you have to have money from an employer or from a government check or other source where there's money coming in from somebody else. Other things to know with SoFi, you have no minimums in order to have the account. You have no monthly maintenance fees. You have Zelle transfers available to you with SoFi. You have mobile deposits. You have cash deposits that you can do through the Green Dot network. You have an early payday option where you can access some of your money even before it's technically in the accounts, and SoFi can kind of see what is about to be direct deposited. And then in terms of ATMs, if you use the Allpoint network, you're not going to have fees on your ATMs. If you are outside of network, you are going to have some fees. And then the other reason I put SoFi first on this list is because as a new SoFi customer, you also can get a nice bonus on the front end when you become a SoFi customer and you set up direct deposit. So you potentially, at least as I make this video, could get yourself a $50 bonus on the low end. On the high end, you could get yourself a $300 bonus. Plus, if you use the link that is in the description of this video or in the first comment of this video, that would even get you an extra $25 as a bonus on top of what I just described. Now, on the sort of low end of things, the either $50 or potentially $75 if you use our link, if you had direct deposit coming in within the sort of evaluation period, which make sure that you check that out. Over $1,000, but under $5,000 coming in via direct deposit, that's going to get you that $50 bonus on the front end, potentially $75 if you use the link below. And then on the high end, if you happen to be someone doing well enough that you are getting $5,000 of direct deposits coming in within that period, well, then you're going to get that higher bonus. SoFi here really trying to get you to sort of commit to them, both with the direct deposit and with the bonus on the front end, to try to get you to set up that direct deposit and really make them your #1 bank. Option number 2, if you want both checking and savings, is Discover. Now, you don't have to choose both with Discover, but if you choose one, there's a pretty decent chance that you will find the other compelling as well. On the savings side, as I make this video, a 3.7% APY on your savings. On the checking side, the way it works is you are going to get 1% cash back on the purchases you make using your debit card with Discover. So instead of getting a yield on the money you have in the account, you are going to get paid more as like a reward like you would with a credit card. So you're going to get a 1% cash back on that. In addition, you have probably all the things that you would hope to have. You don't have any monthly minimums to worry about. You don't have monthly maintenance fees. You have Zelle money transfer available to you. You have mobile deposits. You can do cash deposits on the checking side of things. So a pretty nice package if you were to choose both checking and savings with Discover. Next up for your consideration is Amex Savings and Amex Rewards checking from American Express. On the savings side, as I make this video, at 3.7% APY, annual percentage yield on your savings with American Express. No minimums or maintenance fees to worry about with that account. Now, on the rewards checking side of things, you should know that you do have to be an American Express card holder to be eligible for the rewards checking. If you are and you choose to get a checking account, you're going to get yourself a 1% interest rate, at least as I make this video, on the money you have in the checking account. Plus, you are going to get one American Express membership rewards point for every $2 that you spend via debit out of the account. And then otherwise with the account, you have the Allpoint and MoneyPass ATM networks where you can get your money out without any fees. There you have mobile deposits. You do not have cash deposits with the American Express account. You have Zelle money transfer and, pretty much all the other stuff that you would hope to have out of a checking account. Now, the other two banks I'm going to talk about, if you're looking for both checking and savings from the same source, are a little less well known, but could potentially be even better than what we have talked about so far. So first off is Tab Bank, which has a 4.26% APY on your savings as I make this video. And then on the checking side, a 3.5% APY on your checking balances, plus 1% cash back on the debit purchases that you make. So those are pretty big numbers. Now, Tab Bank, a smaller bank that a lot of us aren't super familiar with, and so I can't necessarily vouch for the service that you're getting from Tab Bank or know a whole lot about it, but the numbers definitely are good. You do have free ATMs when you use the Allpoint or MoneyPass networks with Tab Bank. You do not have Zelle money transfer. So Tab Bank might feel a little bit like you're taking a little bit of a chance, but those numbers are hard to deny. And then you might also want to check out UFB Direct, which is a division of Axos Bank. Of course, you might not have heard of either one of those. But anyway, UFB Direct has a 4.01% APY on your savings. As I make this video, 2% on your checking. And then actually, its parent company, Axos Bank, has sort of a different scheme, but also potentially generous, up to 4.86% on your savings, 0.51% on the checking, which is not quite as good. But you do have some direct deposit requirements there. Well, either direct deposit requirements of at least $1,500 a month or $5,000 worth of deposits per month if you did not do direct deposit. But both of those also potentially good options. Now, if you're only looking for a high yield savings account, you don't need the checking. I'll give you some other sources where you potentially could do even a little bit better on the savings side, or maybe you would feel more comfortable with the bank if you already know the name. First off is Lending Club, where you can potentially get 4.5% in your savings if you have direct deposit set up. Varo Bank will give you 5% on the first $5,000 in your account. Everything beyond that, it's going to get you 2.5%. You've got Bread Savings at 4.4% APY, Basque Bank 4.35%, Synchrony Bank at 4%. If you happen to know of PayPal Savings, that is via Synchrony Bank, so that's also going to be 4%. Barclays at 3.9%, Marcus, which also is behind the Apple savings account, at 3.75%, so you can get that 3.75% from either source. There is One Finance also at 3.75%. Now, this is a Walmart-backed company, and if you are using their debit card, you'll actually get 3% cash back at Walmart when you use One Finance. You've got CIT Bank, 4.1%, although you do have to have at least $5,000 in the account to get that amount. Capital One, 3.7%, and Ally Bank at 3.7%. And then I do want to mention one other checking account that is popular with a lot of people, especially if you're someone that travels outside of the US often, and that is the Charles Schwab account. When you use your Charles Schwab debit card outside of the US, your ATMs are going to all be reimbursed to you across the world, not just in the United States. And so if you've ever traveled internationally and you've pulled money out, it is sort of amazing the number of fees that potentially can be added on to the actual money that's going to end up in your hands. So with Charles Schwab, you can get rid of all those ATM fees. I don't necessarily love the account beyond that personally, but that is a big one if you are an international traveler. So that is a good list to start from if you are getting a paltry amount on your savings and in your checking account right now. There are all sorts of good options to do much better on the high yield savings end, but even on the checking end, you can do a lot better, whether it's a higher annual percentage yield or you get some cash back on those debit card purchases. You definitely want to take a look at those if you're not getting a whole lot right now out of your bank accounts. Questions, comments, would love to hear them in that comment section below. Otherwise, I thank you for watching.